Okay, so I added a new issue. Yeah, so I'll add a little bit more in the description, I think. Maybe, unless this video covers it. But what we need to do is change how the app behaves as far as a customer's address is validated. The current application validates it based on a centroid, like a center point, and a radius of, it's an arbitrary radius around that centroid. And if the point, like if the customer's address falls within that, then it's a success and that address can be used for delivery. If it doesn't, then it fails. Okay, forget all that because we're going to stop using that concept. Instead, I'll show you. Yeah. So in our admin backend, when we add new branches or new locations, we add like a coverage area. So we add a polygon on the map. Any point within this map, within this outline poly, if there's a point within this, then that returns a success because it's saying that person's address or location is within our delivery area. If their point falls outside of it, then it needs to fail. Okay. So how does it currently work in the app? Well, let's look at this. So if I add, this is how it currently works. This is wrong, but I just want to show you the logic or how it flows. So that point here okay, so I think this location would be successful. So I'm updating the address, success, updated. Okay, so I was able to update that address. But if I go and edit this address, I'll show you how it fails because it's outside of that radius. So let's move it somewhere where for sure it'll fail. So we'll move it to South America. We'll try to update. Service is not available in our delivery area, choose. Okay, great. So you can see how it currently works, like how it fails. If you go to the, under features, addresses, the add address widget, there's some logic baked right into this. So is available, it checks to see if there's a branch even available. That's fine. You can leave this logic in here. If it isn't available, then everything fails. If not available, bear with me. So branch's length is 1, 0. Just trying to figure. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the logic in here is a bit strange, but anyway, what we were looking at when it failed adding the new address, what it is doing, it's actually using the Google Maps API right in the Flutter app, which I guess is fine. That's how they're using it now. But I added a API instead. So instead of calling this here, you're going to pass the lat and the long to the API. We don't care about the location we don't care about the branches lat and long. These won't be passed into the API. Only the lat and long of wherever the location provider whatever the location provider has defined, because that'll be the point on the map that we were just looking at in the app. So what are you going to do? You're really just going to comment this logic out and replace it with, don't even look at this to do. This is incorrect. Instead, you're going to do an API call. And I'll show you the API. Right here. I haven't merged this into the main branch, but I will. But here is the API. So latlng polygon URI. You're going to call this, passing in the lat and the long of the location provider, of the value that the user chose. Let me show you how that looks. So I'm running this locally, but it'll be on the admin site. All you do is you have to pass the lat parameter and the LNG long parameter. The branch ID isn't important for this example. It's optional as well. You don't have to pass it. So if I pass this, this is an address within the actual polygon, and this will run successfully. It should. Okay, so it returns a 200 response code, and it's within the area. If I just munge this up to make it fail, it returns like a 401, I think, 400 error anyway, and location is not in area. So going back to the app, instead of calling the Google Maps stuff, you're going to call that API, and it's going to return back a 200 if it's successful, right? Or a 400 something if it's a failure. If it's a failure, then you're going to show this snack bar with this message in it. If it's a success, then you'll go into this else statement where you're actually updating their address with these details. Okay, and one last thing to cover. I added these to-dos. There's 4 places. Maybe, I guess there's only 3 places. So we were just looking at the add address widget. So we already showed this, but it's also used in order provider.dart and checkout helper.dart. So you have to have that same logic in here. So for example, this returns is available. It's just a Boolean. So if it's a 200, you'll send true. If it's not a 200, like it's a 400, you send false. And in the order provider, oh, there are 2 places. It's used in 2 places here. So there's 4 places altogether. So the distance, where is it used? I don't even know. You'll see it though somewhere. And you'll handle the logic accordingly. One last thing maybe is with the order and checkout Dart files for this this address lookup. I think these last 2, the order and checkout, they'll be specific to a branch, right? Like you'll have defined it defines a branch at this point. So when you call that API definitely in the checkout helper, because you can see it's passing in the actual branch, right? And in order provider, I bet you it's the same. Oh, I take that back. It isn't. The branch isn't defined here. But anyway, in the checkout, it does take a branch. So in that case, you're going to call the API and you'll pass in the branch argument and the ID of the branch. Cool? All right. I know it's a bit confusing, but you know, you'll figure it out.